Ms. Cedillo, same question to you. No, I'm sorry, you just answered the question. So we move on. Okay, Mr. Duhon. This question is for you. To begin, what qualities, skills, and or experience do you possess that make you more qualified to be Waller County Judge than your opponent?
Well, we're both attorneys. We both go into court. We both argue on behalf of clients. And when you're an attorney, that brings, there's a whole skill set that comes with that. Speaking in public, being a representative, being able to put forward your position, articulate it clearly. So obviously I bring those skills to the table. I'm a business owner. I've had a business here in Waller County since 2005. I'm a taxpayer. So I have, I'm just as concerned as you are when it comes to our tax dollars. As far as the other skills that I have, I can tell you this. I have been practicing law for 19 years. And I have never once had a complaint filed against me with the state bar of Texas. And I'm not saying, I don't even know if Ms. Cedillo has or hasn't. I have no idea. I'm just saying that you don't practice for that long and without a complaint if you've conducted yourself with integrity. And my integrity is everything to me. And I will promise you this, if I am elected, I will leave office, whenever that may be, with my integrity intact. And I think everything flows from that. You have to have certain principles. You have to make decisions based on those principles. I am a principled person. I call myself a conservative Republican. I'm a Reagan Republican. Okay? You want to know the honest truth? I agree with Reagan. Government is not the solution. It's part of the problem. It is part of the problem. There are basic things the government needs to do. Safety, law enforcement, public roads. Then get out of the way. Let us live our lives. It scares me what's going on the national level. Every day we see things where they're reaching more and more. They're getting more intrusive into our lives. And at least I know on the local level we can insist and demand conservative values. That's the only thing we can do. Because when it comes to the national level, New York, and California, and Florida, they take over when it comes to those kind of things. So I will operate myself on a set of principles that will not waver. And that is what I'm going to bring to the table as your next county judge.
Thank you, Mr. Duhon. Ms. Cedillo, what qualities, skills, and experience do you possess that make you more qualified to be Waller County Judge than your opponent?
Well, I'll start with having served as a county commissioner. I'll start with having served and worked with people who have had to make tough decisions with regard to budget issues. This year's budget is a $30 million budget, for those of you who don't know. Having learned how to communicate and having learned how to represent Waller County, that's incredible experience, having worked alongside people who served as county judge, Judge Ralston, Judge Beckendorf. One of the things I will say they both got is that Waller County Judge serves as an ambassador for Waller County. You do the best that you can to represent this county with regard to economic development, with regard to the business people that you have to deal with on a regular basis, with regard to the engineers that are constantly talking to you about what developments are happening in Waller County, especially mobility developments. You have to be gracious, you have to be understanding, and sometimes when people are screaming at you, pounding on your desk, or posting nasty things on a blog somewhere, you've got to be gracious. And that's one of the things that I have absolutely learned through my experience as an elected official with the City of Prairie View and also at the County Commissioner's Court. That's incredibly important. But the other part of my background that is incredibly important that I bring to the table is grant writing. I have also been able to successfully get over $2 million in grant funding for issues of domestic violence, for issues of children who suffer bullying. In 1995, that was my work as a lawyer. Who wanted to talk about bullying in 1995 if you have children? I have children, 2 children. That is on the front burner of newspapers. That is on the front burner of our internet websites. That's the work that I did, working with legislators to draft legislation that is now the cornerstone of the legislation that requires bullying, anti-bullying training in our schools. I'm very proud of that. That's a lot of experience. And for sure, you want a county judge that is able to interact with elected officials. You want a county judge that is able to understand fundraising. Because the first rule of fundraising, whether you're getting money privately or from the state, is what's your need? What's the need for Waller County? And I'm able to do that. You don't hear about it, but I was able to get an $80,000 grant when I was one of your county commissioners from the State Energy Conservation Office. That's a very important part of my experience. And so one of the things that I know is that working within government, having worked at Prairie View to establish their first domestic violence sexual assault prevention project, working within government is difficult because you always have to deal with budget constraints. But you must always, always learn, if you're a director of any project, that you have to be in that role of an ambassador. And you want to be honest, you want people to listen to you, and you want to listen to people and have that reputation. It is absolutely critical as we go through the next 4 years of healing Waller County. Healing Waller County. And the divisions that exist, the litigation that exists, you will want someone who will have the experience to walk us through all of that and have the moral courage to tell people the truth, because sometimes it's not popular, and I understand that. And I would certainly be honored to serve as your county judge, knowing that I bring that experience to the table that is a whole menu of experience that is required to be the next Waller County judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cedillo. Ms. Cedillo, this next question goes to you first. What will be the first topic on your agenda if voted into office?
I think working on some of this healing process that I've mentioned is important. That's something that definitely should be addressed. I think that the county is going to want to know, what is going to be done to make sure that there are protections in order to have even better open government, I don't want to be that kind of elected official that says, this is all the information I provided because that's all the law says I have to do. I want to go as much above and beyond to work with people to give them the best information that they can get. I think that's critically important. Why? Because we're still going to be involved in litigation and probably the appellate process. That's going to be very exhausting to the public. And there's going to be a lot of questions about that. So those first 90 days in office, that's, I think, what people expect. To have real personal precinct by precinct conversations about the issues that are currently on the table and how we can work through them. I'm a mediator by training. That's what I do. In family law cases, you understand, because I bet there have been divorces in this room. In family law cases, you understand that when it comes to the settlement, if both people are a little unhappy, it's been a good day. It's been a good day, which means compromising. There has to be some give and take with regard to what happens in county government over the next 4 years. And you need someone, I believe, who is able to effectively communicate and get people to the point where they do have trust in the government, where they also know that they're not always going to be happy with what they hear, but they will have had someone who will have listened to their needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cedillo. Mr. Duhon, what will be the first topic on your agenda if voted into office?
My own? There we go. I think obviously there are a lot of things that can be done quickly, right off the bat, that will help to heal some of this distrust that's happened in this county. Those things that we can do quickly is improving our website, increasing the access to public records that are available, using plain language agendas. And by the way, make the supplemental materials that are available to the commissioners during the commissioners court meeting, make that available to people. You can look at an agenda all you want, but if you don't have the backup materials that back up the items, sometimes it's impossible to understand what is going on in commissioners court. So what does that require? You have to go to commissioners court. Well, raise your hand. Who can go to commissioners court at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday morning? No? Why? Because we have jobs. I understand that. How hard would it be to quickly make it so that commissioners court meetings can be available online? It's a video camera. and it's uploading it to a website, or even broadcasting it as it happens. These are things so people can watch if they get home, they can see what's happening, they can understand it. They can have the same material sitting in front of them that the commissioners had, so when they talk about things in the meeting, they can go, oh yeah, I see what he was talking about. Here's the plat. Public information officers. We need one. I'm sure y'all remember the special prosecutors that didn't find any violations of the law, but they did issue a very scathing report on Waller County, and they said this county needs a public information officer. We need a document retention policy. Emails. How long should they be kept? How are they to be retained? These are things that can be addressed quickly and easily. Using countywide workshops to keep people informed. You do these things, that is going to make people feel easier. It's going to make them feel better about what's going on so that they know what's happening. And these are things that, and let me say this, financial transparency. If you have a moment, do yourself a huge favor. Go home and Google Walker County. It's just like Waller, just change one letter. Walker County. Go look at their website. They have won an award 5 years in a row now from the Texas Comptroller's Office for their commitment to financial transparency. Their check ledger is available online. You can go look at the check ledger. The last, I don't know how many years of budgets are available online. They put so much financial information online. It's unreal. I want that award. I want Waller County to be recognized for having financial transparency. We haven't had that. So those are the things that we can do right off the bat that can definitely change the attitude in this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duhon.